Hey everybody, my name is Kevin and welcome to Kev's Vibe of the Day. I'm happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be here. And so let's get right to the cards and see what the message is. All right, so today is really all about love. It's all about power. It's all about strength. It's all about you and seeing you for who you are, what you're about. The first card that came to me this morning was Courage and Bravery. That was the one that was closest to my heart when I finished the prayer, asking for the four corners of the universe to deliver a message for the highest good with the intention of lifting the vibration of folks who perhaps may not be feeling quite so chipper lately. So, courage and bravery. So, universe recognizes that the journey that you've been on and where you find yourself now is powerful, courage, brave, and that you are learning by the experiences that you've already had that you do have a voice, that you do have a power, and you do have everything within you to stand your ground and speak your truth. And this is about your truth. What this card is also saying, what your angels would like you to know, what your spirit guides and higher elements want you to know, is that transitions with which we're in one at the moment, on the most physical of levels, are messy. There has to be an alignment where everybody comes together on the same page. And the reason for this is that for decades and centuries, we have been having to live with the opposites. Power that was placed in the hands of individuals has been somewhat abused and has not been equal to all. And we are now finding ourselves yet again facing polarizing opinions on what might feel and seem totally and utterly ridiculous, out of character, off the charts. So this card really is saying to you, stick with your truth. Know that the truth that lives within you, inside of you, that's about you, that's your truth of who you were when you walked into the world and said, "Here I am, world, let's go." There is nothing wrong with stepping away from conflict. Some of the greatest negotiators of culture of our time, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and others, did so without compromising their inner truth and their inner power. Many have perished through having the power of their convictions, but in all, they have not backed down. This card is also representing that your inner spirit, your inner resolve, your inner truth, the inner individual energy, essence, if you will, of who you are can never be destroyed. Yes, for sure, we can be swallowed into egoic ways of believing. We can be pushed and cajoled and jostled into someone else's way of being and thinking and feeling. But we don't necessarily get destroyed by other people. That might bring up fears of physical death. You no longer being who you are, no longer able to continue your journey as who you are. And we've had a lot of that, the fear. People have watched, seen, heard folks leaving this life, choosing that this is not what they're aligned up with for whatever reason. But in this message today, not to bring it down or not to find it morbid, just stand in your truth, even though you might You might come across people that may not agree with you. Our job is to still be friends and disagree, still be believing what we believe, and it's respecting other people for their beliefs too, not to rob them of their own power to believe it, to choose it, to follow it, be interested by it. This is a new day to have discovery, not a day to put your agenda forward and do the bidding of the ego. So the other card that came up, Holy Love, it's such a glorious card, a beautiful card. It is a card to tell you that all your angels, all your spirit guides are surrounding you right now and telling you that you are of the most beautiful, loving, kind, caring, peaceful person that they know. And they're rewarding you with more and more and more and more love. You've done the work. You've stepped into your power. You've been peaceful. You're stepping into a world of being called to light. Some of you may be undercover light workers. That's a person who does a regular job and then has the loving being of light in their heart. We need lots of people like this. I'm somewhat of an undercover light worker, although I made a decision to step in there and serve and decide this is what I'd like to do. This is what I'm lining up to do. This is good for me right now. So, Holy Love, it's a wonderful gift, a wonderful blessing that comes to you today. And I want to read some of the extended message. Angels of love are gathering around you in awe and celebrating, for you are the finally willing to remember how loving and lovable you are. And heaven is guiding you to see that. You deserve loving relationships, loving experiences, and loving acceptance from all over the world around you. This card is a milestone in your own self awareness, acknowledging the steps you've taken. So claim your worth and recognize that you deserve to be loved and respected and to feel good on all levels. It acknowledges a new level of spiritual openness. It draws even more divine love from your angels and your creator. You're loved beyond your wildest dreams by the power and the presence that created you, that brought you here. And through receiving and acknowledging all this love, you'll create even more loving experiences in your life. So I was reading that and downloading and downloading and downloading this gush of just goodness. And I was thinking of that Bellamy Brothers song, Let Your Love Show Flow, Like a Mountain Breathe, and all of these lovely songs that come to mind. The album cover, there's a couple of them. The album cover that I am, let me turn these bloody interruptions off. Jesus, Mary, let me do this until tomorrow. Thank you. Looking at the album cover, and it's a sort of that long-haired, hippy-dippy, shaggy coat kind of thing from the 60s and the 70s. And, you know, those were really good, great times. I mean, if you think of our musicians in our culture between like 62, year I was born, and 72, 73, it was all this, you know, yes, I think the US were grappling with the Vietnam issue. And of course, the weekend I was born, Kennedy was dealing with the Cuban Missile Crisis. All that is soon to be 59 years ago. What we're still dealing with, this love and war and peace and protest and all of these opposites. So yes, it is challenging to be in this time of how the world do you find the love? How do you find it? It doesn't go anywhere. Love just stays here. It just lives here. It is where we are. And if you are curious, these cards, it's around you, it's about you, it's all over you. Get into it, step into it, raise the vibration to it. We're seeing it, oddly enough, everywhere. The crumbling and the breaking down of the control Folks are saying, I'd like to have a little bit more freedom if you don't mind, in a loose way. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. All right, my friends, let me read from the book, and then I want to see if our friend the alchemist will come and talk today. He popped in yesterday. I was unexpecting it, and I was delighted by it. And he and I had a little chat yesterday afternoon about what would you like to do with this. And it's like, oh, I'm along for the ride. Why do you think I showed up in your life? Why do you think I've been here? I'm like, okay, well, duh. So where are we today? The 30th of August. What would feel good to you? What do you want? What would feel good to you? Ask yourself. Ask yourself this question as you go through your day, as you live your life. When you don't know what to do next, when you're not sure how to find the path that's right for you, ask yourself what you want and what would feel good to you. That's how you discover what's right for you, what energizes you, which friends feel good to be around, what work excites you, infuses you with passion, which hobbies interest you. How do you want to spend your time? We have endured, have to. We have endured, have to, for a long time. We have pushed ourselves through should too many times. There is a better and different way. Learn to recognize what lifts your spirit, raises your vibration. Become conscious not only what you need, but also what you want and like, what feels right to you. At first, doing what you want and what feels good to you may seem uncomfortable, especially if you've spent much of your time doing what doesn't feel good. Learn to be comfortable with the new energy. Learn to become comfortable choosing what energizes you. Follow your heart. And by following your passion, you'll find your path and you'll find joy. The possibilities for joy are limitless if we can do what feels good to us. In work, in life, in love, in play, learn to become comfortable with joy. You've got the power to create joy by choosing what feels good to you. The time for joy isn't later. The time for joy is right now. And I cannot think of a more appropriate way to acknowledge these two cards, to be brave and find the joy, to lap up the holy love, to be in that celebratory place. You deserve it. It's your right to have it. And that might seem really weird when what seems to be going on is the opposite. Yeah, no. The opposite is showing those who are in it that this isn't what they're looking for. This isn't what they're lined up with. I'm feeling like a sneeze is coming. Oh, it was. And we stopped it. There we go. Out it goes. Excuse me. Thank you. I don't know if I can edit that out later or not. Let's do our meditation. Big breath in, palms up, seat down, and a nice long spine. Follow your breath in and out, and just let yourself be in that comfortable seat. Let your eyes close. Let yourself be totally and utterly relaxed. Think of your feet pressing into the Mother Earth. And your crown of your head energized towards the Father Sky. Know that all the trillion cells of your body are all working together intelligently, miraculously, without your conscious thought of them. The syntax of your brain, sending the messages around your body. Good morning, my friends. Mhm. It is good to be here with you. It is good to be speaking with you. Mhm. I am the alchemist. Mhm. Mhm. And yes, this does feel so good. I'm so delighted. Um, Kevin is such a delightful young fellow. Doesn't always step into the power that he knows to be, but we're glad he's opened himself up for this and stepping forward into this light. And you, my friends, out there in the world in your meditation, you know that the meditation is such an ancient practice. It's been around for, well, in your world, it'd be like 5,000 or more years. And then came the movement, which you all know as yoga. And then on it went. It was matching the desires of the body in ways that move you forward, make you feel good. And now we come to the time in our lives where all sorts of things are moving and shaking and shifting and changing, and many of you are just quite aghast with what's happening. But thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so grateful that you've tuned in and that you are willing to open yourselves up for these experiences. I am just delighted. I was just so proud to step in like this in this way. Um, and yes, it is rather different as we, on the other side of you, with your loved ones, both the animal ones and the people ones, all of them, just so looking in you. It's a bit like they have no bodies, they have no time. There's a lot of peace that's happening. And my friends, they are so proud of you, coming to you. It's as if they are seeing you with their brand new eyes, able to see you in a different dimension. Um, Obviously, recognizing that they themselves at one point were in the physical world and are of the physical world, and in a way they still are. They still are choosing it, they still are part of it, and they are still connected with you and to you. I want to tell you that I wish all of you a safe transition through these very challenging times. We recognize fully that the work you're stepping into and the environment that you are around is not comfortable. And our job for all of you is to create an existence that will be comfortable as it can be. To do this, the lesson of the day for you is spend as much time first thing when the sleep has finished and you are ready to awaken. Spend that glorious time in the morning for your spiritual practice. It's a practice of welcoming the frame of the active day, reminding you that we're here. And when you give grace and gratitude for our presence, for stepping in where we're always willing to be, we step forward to help you. We recognize that vibration. It is a vibration that calls us in. And through your scriptures and your teachings and the various doctrines you've taken on, it is difficult and challenging for any of you to believe that these beings, archangels, ascended masters, as we are, would be willing to come and work with you. But we are so proud of you and we love you so much. Why would we not want to? And the one thing I'd like to impose upon you, all of the issues you may have had, the things you may have said that perhaps you're not keen on doing, the mistakes you might have made when you've come out of alignment with the glory and the beauty of your creation. The moment that you recognize, see, and are aware that that wasn't quite right, that you weren't quite right, that you had behaved in a way that wasn't aligned with love, that is the very moment that the forgiveness has happened. The forgiveness has occurred. You've become aware that the ego, the fear, the behavior that accompanies it has taken hold of you. And your awareness, the key, that beautiful space, is the opportunity to make the change in that now moment. And that's where we implore you. Thank you, angels, for showing me the light, and thank you, ascended masters, for leading me forward toward more of it. The other lesson I'd like for you to learn is to set a true intention every single day. Where we are, the time is not here. We don't have a clock, we don't have a schedule. We realize you do. When you were born, when you were little, when you were children, there was no schedule. That's why children are so free, so loving, so kind, so have such a good time, running around, playing their instruments, singing and banging and making noise. It's so glorious. And then the real work of living in the physical world takes over, and the idea of conformity and control begins to illuminate. And in the illumination comes that feeling that we can't do what we want. We are supposed to complete these things, these tasks. We're supposed to learn what other people told us to learn. This is not unfortunate, because there is still the freedom of choice in somewhere where you are, the freedom to choose the kind of avenue you go down, the sort of things you learn and you follow. And then we're delighted when we hear and see those incredible creative pieces like those wizardy books you've got, the magical enchanted worlds that they send children along. Then adults bring them into the adult life and they remember the stories and they remember the fables that go with them, where we're from, and the ancient laws that we have. Those stories indeed were known as sutras, the Yoga Sutras. And so, my friends, it is time for me to go and to leave you with this lovely message. Awaken each day with the newness of it. Vibrate with the discovery of it. Be in the adventure of it. Follow your bliss. Keep your vibrations high, light, joyful, loving, and know that when you feel those are not occurring, you call upon us. Thank you, us. Angels, I know you're here. Show me, guide me, hold my hand, be with me. All of those things. We work with the now. We work with the time as one thing. In your world, it would seem distracting. It would seem quite something. There's little snippets. And for that, I'm going to go. There is always love and light and hope and peace and joy and all of those things here for you. And we love you and we wish you all of it. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Just honor yourself for doing the work, stepping in, surrounding yourself with the love and the light and the joy and the peace and the harmony. And then let's lift our thumb knuckles to the third eye center. Together we honor the world, share the love, share the peace, share the joy, send it out. And together we bow and say namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yesterday I was doing the cinema screen with you and I felt a little shift and then it was a warm, fuzzy shift, like the way you feel when you get into a nice warm bath. It was that same, oh, this feels so good. And then the alchemist did his following the meditation, which I loved. It was so delightful. My thought about that is that he has always been doing it and I was aware, but I'll explain what channeling is, or it's not really channeling, it is using their wisdom, which, let me tell you something, I'm interested in the history and the wisdom and all of that, the Akashic records. I love all that. And, my work with the Carl Gray Angel team has shifted my perception of it. But there's still much, 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 much out there to dig into. Right, my friends, listen, have a wonderful Monday. I love you and we'll see each other soon. Bye.